morning and welcome to the Daily Show here on Claret and Booze. This is a show that myself, Nick and John do on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday every week where we talk about the latest West Ham news and opinions. We also read all your comments, so please leave us a comment. Please also, if you enjoy these videos, please help us out by subscribing to the channel, Claret and Booze, and hit the bell notification icon to get alerted for new shows, and give us a like. So we've got 3 stories today on this show. We're going to go through, first of all, Craig Dawson and why he must play for England. Then we're going to go through Declan Rice. Declan Rice is staying for another year, so it's been reported. We're going to comment on that. And then finally, we're going to look at David Moyes. And David Moyes has been double busy. He has been keeping himself very, very busy, but I'm going to go into that and explain what he's been doing for the last week. It's quite interesting, actually. But first of all, Craig Dawson. What can we say about Craig Dawson that hasn't already been said? He is a born leader who has got better and better and better as time has gone on at West Ham. You know, he joined us, when he first joined us, he was, you could say, a second string, a reserve player. Now he is absolutely the first choice centre-half. And I say that, I include Zuma in that as well. As you've seen in the last few games, before Zuma's injury, probably for 5 or 6 games before that, Craig Dawson was the star of the show. He was the leading man at the back. And I've got to be honest, I had a big smile on my face in that Lyon game, the first leg, where we got 10 men. At the end of the game, he cleared out 3 Lyon players. And that is beautiful and brutal defending by Craig Dawson. But that's not all he can do. He's got a lot more to his game as well, and we've just seen this. We've seen him develop. We've seen his game develop. We've seen the introduction of passing. He can do, you know, you remember that beautiful ball he played over the top to side Ben Rama. He's doing it on a game by game basis now. He's pinging balls left and right over the top. Add to that, he's left a trail of destruction in opposition defences when it comes to set pieces. I mean, brave as a lion, scores more than his fair share. This is a guy who I always favour when we've got a corner. Compare his confidence levels and where he must be at the moment to Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire played for Man United in their latest humiliation against Liverpool. They lost 4-0. Harry Maguire had a big hand in the 4th goal. Now, Harry Maguire is a regular selection for the England starting lineup. He's one of Southgate's favourite boys. Now, Southgate always said that he would pick players on form. Now, if you're going to pick players on form, I'm afraid, Southgate, Harry Maguire isn't one of them. And there's several other players that you pick who are also not one of them. You're picking the badges over the player. But the thing is, Craig Dawson can save you, Gareth. Craig Dawson is the future. He's got 1 World Cup left in him, right? And what better can you do? Say we go on and we win this Europa League. Are you going to be able to ignore Craig Dawson? A team led by Declan Rice, Craig Dawson, with Bowen on the right-hand side. That's 3 players. And you know that's the magic number, Gareth. You know it's a magic number. You need to get Craig Dawson in there. Let's talk about Dawson. This is a humble bloke with humble beginnings. He started off as a teetotal teenager collecting glasses in, let me just find the name of it, the Dog and Partridge pub in Rochdale. Then he went on to play for Radcliffe Borough in the non-league, and then Rochdale, where he was very well liked at Rochdale. Scored a lot of goals with it, surprisingly. He then got big moves into West Brom, Bolton and Watford before making his best move to West Ham United. He finally came home. For me, he is a Hammer of the Year contender. He's going to get my vote. This guy has helped us. Without him, just imagine what our defence would have been like without him this year. A lot of our success, yes, it's been down to Deck and it's been down to several others, but without a defence, what are you going to do? So he's the one that's kept that defence alive. And Southgate, you cannot ignore him. We win that Europa League. I want to see Craig Dawson, Big Dawes, on that plane. Anyway, We move on to the next item. So Declan Rice. Declan Rice, we heard from various sources this week that his family, who represent him, have come to an agreement with the club, a gentleman's agreement, that he wants to win trophies. If he can't do it at West Ham, he will get a move next summer. So that will be summer of 2023, which I think is fair enough. He's not motivated by money. We offered him 200 grand a week, apparently, making by far the highest paid player in the club's history, but he's not interested in money or an extended contract. He just wants to be allowed to leave when the time is right. And I think if we don't win anything this season or next season, the time will be right. I think that would have been he would have given it a fair crack. He will be also the club captain next year, even though he's been the captain on the pitch. He hasn't been the club captain. That's been Mark Noble this year. So next year, Dec gets to take over and be the club captain. Also, well, I kind of hope that West Ham are going to stick by this. They've reached an agreement with Dec and his family. That should be the hard part done. But what happens if a club comes in for 120 million, 140 million? And we know it's probably likely to happen. It's not a risk when you look at maybe Jack Grealish playing out on the wing. This ain't that sort of player. To my mind, 100 million for him was a little bit too much. Jordan Sancho, 80 million, that was too much as well. These are players who, big clubs took a risk on because they thought it's a big name. Grealish was the main man at Villa, so we'll take the main man across. But lo and behold, he just becomes a bit part player in Man City's season. That is not Declan Rice. Whoever eventually buys Declan Rice, and hopefully it is eventually, and we don't just fold as soon as a big offer comes in this summer. Whoever gets him, they're buying a first team regular. That is someone who's going to sit in, is going to play almost every game in the first team in central midfield, because that is how good he is. He could walk into any team right now. So imagine where he'll be when he's won the World Cup. Hopefully as England captain later this year with Bowen and Dawson playing alongside him. Imagine how much he'd be worth after that. An absolute fortune. And so I hope that's what the club are sensible, and they know that he hasn't reached peak value yet. So keep him, honour the agreement. I think it's fair. I think everybody thinks it's fair. On to story number 3, David Moyes. David Moyes, what's he been up to? I know he's been double busy. This is just a little story of David Moyes, football addict, what he does on a typical week. On Monday this week, this was just after the game we played on Sunday, so on Monday this week, he's off to Millwall to watch Millwall against Hull, where he's scouting a player called Deshaun Bernard, who's a centre-back on loan from Man U, very highly rated. Spurs were there to see him as well. Sadly, the lad didn't get a run out. He was on the bench. But apparently he's one for the future, and I suppose he must be highly rated, although he's not getting he's been sent around on loan by Man U, who've got Harry Maguire. Yeah. On Tuesday, so that was Monday. On Tuesday, David Moyes went across to see Carlton Cole's under-16 team in training, and I'm gonna read this because Carlton tweeted afterwards, and he said, the under-16s were blessed with the gaffer's presence at training today, and they loved it. He even got involved with the coaching, which means so much to our lads who are fighting to make it as a pro, and shows not just the players but the coaching staff humility and leadership, which is exactly what you get from David Moyes. So that was Monday and Tuesday, and all this time David Moyes has got Chelsea on his mind at the weekend and Frankfurt on his mind next week. And he must be devising a plan to resolve this centre-back crisis that we've got. I think, now the dust has settled and there have been lots of silly suggestions. I think it comes down to, there are probably 3 main options for that, right? It's probably Rice drops back, plays centre-half. That's the easy one. Ben Johnson could play centre-back. That wouldn't disturb the team at all. And then you could put, finally you can put Cresswell inside and move Johnson out as left-back, which might work. Either way, I think Big David Moyes, I think he's going to be trying something out on Sunday against Chelsea. And I'm going to that game, so I look forward to seeing it. I think he's going to try out his template for ahead of the Frankfurt game next Thursday. Let's just hope it's successful, and I'm sure it will be. But anyway, that has been David Moyes' week so far. This guy loves football. He's obsessed by football, and I think that shows. That shows in what he does. He wants to be involved in every level of football at the club, and he can't watch enough games. This is a guy who's constantly learning. Anyway, look, that's me done. We're back on Friday night for the Claret and Booze Up show, live show. If you haven't seen one before, please join us. Grab a drink, come along, get involved with the chat. It's usually quite lively. There'll be me, Nick, and John, joined by special guests. David Schall, who is, you might know as Jay's dad from In-Betweeners. He's been on the show before. He's a great guy and a proper West Ham fan. Follows home and away. And the legend is Nigel Khan. He'll be joining us to talk about some European history as well. So it's going to be a fun night. Please come along and join us. Meanwhile, if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and until next time, that's me done. Come on, you irons.